All right, all right. Good afternoon, good day, great morning, everyone. Haki Ami here, the Success Scholar. Thank you for tuning in. You're on live with Holla at the Success Scholar. Oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna unmute you, sis. I can't. Oh, you have to unmute yourself. But yeah, so we're doing well. I had the opportunity to meet this sister. It's been some years, but I didn't see her online for a long time. But I know I've seen her, over the past few years at different points. I've supported her business for years at different times and sent people there as well. And I know her first. She's a nurse. She was a nurse for quite some years. I'll let her share that. And then she moved into the real estate space and owned some properties in the city of Baltimore and understands what's going on in the real estate field and market as well as in our communities, because we have to understand certain things that are going on within our communities that affect us. And I thought she would be best because she has the pulse of what's going on in the streets as well as in the business space. So I just wanted to get this sister on. Great morning, Sister Nicole.
Good morning.
Or,
Good morning. Good morning. How
yeah,
are you?
thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have a lot to say
Uh,
about many things.
I do sometimes. Sometimes too much.
I just be like, we need to protect this sister and keep her speaking out. Of
Yeah.
course. Let
Well,
me just
you
yeah,
know.
let me just say I applaud you for, just, of course, just being, in the community, being an activist as well as being an entrepreneur and not being content with your profession as a nurse, but understanding the role of real estate and how and why we need to own our own communities and buy within our own communities and create entrepreneurial opportunities. And I see Sister Black Box already is on.
Oh,
Let me go ahead.
okay. Good morning. Yeah, that's my girl there, Queen. She's doing big
Yes,
things in the
yes,
community, as
yes,
well.
great,
People got to
great.
check for her show, Black Box Radio.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
you
Shout
know,
out to
she had the Queendom series. I was part of that.
yes. Oh,
You know,
great, great.
yeah. Like I try to definitely stay in tune to, everyone that's kind of moving, and just at least know the players and stuff, and a
Hmm.
variety of different things, because I think that's what it's going to take, unity, to kind of move Baltimore City forward. Everybody has something to add and bring, not necessarily to the table, but to the room.
Right.
And we have to start embracing that, because
Hmm.
right now we're being pushed out. If you look at a lot of our housing developments are disappearing. Where are these people
Mm.
going? They're being forced to many counties where they may not necessarily survive, because what if they don't have vehicles, and just resources? So we need to start tuning into those different things that are happening, not necessarily to ourselves, but to our community at large. So I
Mm.
love Baltimore. It's got a lot of issues, just like any city.
Hmm.
Um, I'm from Chicago. We got a lot of issues in
Okay.
Chicago. So
Yes, I remember.
without
Okay.
a doubt, look,
Mm.
without a doubt, and Baltimore is the last great hope. I mean, for Black people, if you really sit down and think about it, when you think about any city, Baltimore City is the really one of the last opportunities when you talk about real estate and prime real
Mm.
estate. When you look at the Detroit market, you go
Hmm.
downtown Detroit right now, it don't look like Detroit when we were roller skating back in Chicago.
Mm. Mm.
New York doesn't look like New York. Harlem, Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn, so
Oh, right.
Baltimore,
Yes.
DC, we can look at DC. It used to be the chocolate city. Now it's like
Mm.
Neapolitan, but just
Hmm.
with the chocolate, a little bit of vanilla. More vanilla probably than chocolate,
Right, right, right.
So, we definitely have to engage in real estate. For me, being a nurse,
Hmm.
is definitely a passion. It was something from the military. Straight out
What
of high
branch were
school,
you in the military?
I was 91 Charlie. I was an LPN, in the
Oh,
military.
okay, okay. All
Yep.
right. I was in the Navy. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I did my 8, 6, and 2.
Six.
Walter Reed was
Okay.
was my last duty site. And then from there, I went on to get my registered nurse license. And but I
Okay.
worked and worked and worked until I brought real estate. It's always been
Mm,
something after my heart because my parents pushed economic
mm,
development,
mm,
ownership. Um, my father,
mm,
being from the Islamic faith, was definitely where he believed that that was the only way that we were going to be able to create wealth. Um,
Was he NOI? Was he NOI or just traditional?
Very heavy, very heavy.
Okay.
For
Okay.
with that movement. He also, my other uncle was part of the El Rookins, which is a gang.
Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
in the five percenters, I had another uncle that
Oh,
was there.
wow.
So, a lot of it was on you either build or destroy. So that
Right.
was
Right.
kind of
Right.
our movement. And I
Mm.
was raised in that. So that's kind of
Oh,
why it's
wow. Okay.
imperative for me right now to be able to not only buy, but to help my tenants buy as well. Like
Mm.
everyone that's pretty much rented from me has gone on to home ownership. So I toot my horn for
Yes.
that.
Beautiful.
Because any information that I have, I like to be able to give back, put them into contact with people. Because it's imperative for
Mm.
me, because that's the greatest success, is to be able to see people own their own. Many of
Mm-hmm.
my tenants that have gone on, to purchase, still in contact every Christmas, every holiday. They like, hey, or happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. And that to me is the ultimate joy. So
Mm.
being able to see it, being able to help people get a piece of the quote unquote American dream, that's what it's
Mm-hmm.
about. So, I'm vocal on some things. Some things I don't exert my energy into.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Economic development is a big one. I'm going to always speak to that because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's something that I was born, bred, and raised in. So,
Right. Right.
people don't like it. Some people don't like it, but it just is what it is. So,
It's important for us to recognize where we are. And I appreciate your analysis in terms of how. I mean, I read something about what was it, the top cities that Black people are migrating from
mhm.
and migrating to, and well, they were talking about Chicago. Chicago was in Detroit were like number one. People were Chicago was number one. A lot of people were moving more so from they stay in the Midwest, but
Mhm.
they moved to Texas now and
Texas
further
is
down
high.
south. And,
Chicago
hmm?
taxes. Chicago taxes. People think Baltimore city taxes are high. Cook County
Mm.
taxes are high. But I
Wow,
tell you how they are high. Like I'm trying to unload some property now in Chicago, and because them taxes is a beast.
wow,
They are a
wow.
beast. Like with my mother, if I can find her something in Indiana, I'm getting
Hmm.
out
Hmm. Hmm.
because the taxes are high.
Yes, yes. And
Hmm.
this is what sometimes when people have these conversations about politics and economics and what, for instance, uh, Black elected officials mean, or, in terms of overall, prosperity and wealth, it's like, do you find, I mean, and through talking to different investors, because I've been to some of the different investors and they don't really care, they don't care to have a relationship with the elected officials because they just like they don't even try to understand uh, what investors do and what entrepreneurs do and how they can stand up for Black businesses, or how they can support Black businesses. And I've seen for quite some time most of the events that people do, uh, they aren't centered in our community, and I find it disturbing, and that many aren't like that conscious, and I guess like yourself, they weren't raised like that, and they don't. It's not necessary for their career trajectory.
For me, I definitely try to. I avoid the majority of the politicians. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason I do is because for me, I'm more of a I'm due. You know what I'm saying? And most of them are bought. And that's the difference, because you have to think
Right,
about it. The majority of them don't necessarily come with their own money. So when you don't come
right.
with your own money, whoever's investing into you becomes
Mm-hmm.
technically you're just a puppet, and they're your puppet master. So that's kind of
Okay.
why I kind of shy away from a lot of the politicians. That's one of the
Right.
things. We did have one event at the store where TJ, I think it's TJ Smith,
Mm-hmm.
ran for
TJ
office.
Smith. Right.
And then I shut it down, because I was like, this is not me. I don't
Right.
really want this affiliation. And he's a cool guy, no doubt. He's a cool guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where it is. People started sending like different political signs, and I'm speaking back to when the mayor's race was going. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but then again, it was just something that I really was not interested in, because my thing is that whoever gets in there, we're going to have to support and work with, because we're trying to get this city, and we're trying to get a
Right.
piece, because
Right.
right now a lot of things that are happening, from the minority business participation to just general things that are going on in Baltimore City,
Mm-hmm.
getting left behind
Mm.
100%. As an investor, for me, it's easier to bring outside money than to go
Mm.
to the city of Baltimore to ask them for anything,
Wow.
because it comes with that whole thing that it's the same premise with these politicians. The money that is invested, they now got to speak for that voice. So if Baltimore City gives me money, I got to speak Baltimore City, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do that. I want to speak Nicole. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be where they're pulling the strings, because you have a lot of people that feel like if they're getting a check from the city or something, and don't get me wrong, some people need grants, they need that, and I get that. But it should not
Mm.
have to come with, I have to sacrifice my thoughts, my self-worth,
Mm.
speaking out and helping somebody else. But a lot of times it does, because people
Right.
fear that repercussion. Oh, they're gonna
Right.
cut me off if I speak out. But what
Mm.
happens here? Let's focus on what's right,
Mm.
right and wrong, right? But a lot of people, they have that fear. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of ride up under the radar, the politicians. When it's a time to speak, I speak. For some time, I rode my councilman, John Bullock. He's getting better. I'm gonna give you
Mm-hmm.
your points. If you do good, I'm gonna give it to you. If you do
Right.
bad, I'm gonna call you out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because I think that's part of being human. You got to recognize the good. You got to
Right.
recognize the bad.
Right. Right.
I
Agree.
will say
Very
that
much
I'm
so.
starting to see him more in the community. He's definitely more engaged to his
Uh,
now. I don't know if it's because people were threatening to run against him or whatever, but I will say that he is more active.
mm.
And if I'm going to recognize the bad, I have to recognize the good as well. That's
Right.
fair. That's
Right.
fair.
So go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No, go
No,
ahead.
so yeah, so you had a particular issue that made me, and for those that may be watching from outside of Baltimore, may see this on the replay. Recently, we had a vacant dwelling that was caught on fire. However, it was caught on fire, and
Mhm.
3 firefighters uh, died, and one was injured, but he's out now. But um, there are many vacant dwellings in the city of Baltimore. 15,000, theoretically, that's a number that's been thrown out a few times. Uh, and you've had a particular issue, and I was trying to get a good understanding of it, because it was that's what resonated with me and made me say we need to hear more about this story, and how the role of the community associations involved, how they play a role in community development, or not.
Right.
So can you share what was happening? There was a vacant dwelling that nobody boarded up, and nobody would close the door, and what was going on with that?
I own where my store is located. I have another building that is across the street from there. And it
Mm-hmm.
sits in between two vacant
Mm.
buildings, right?
Mm.
And I secured the building previously at least two times myself, out of my own pocket, just out of safety. But my thing is, to a lot of these neighborhood associations, you have people that want to sit in these positions for economic reasons. Uh,
Mm,
it allows them an opportunity to find out and to work directly with the city to get first dibs on different properties or
mm,
different opportunities, ways that they can align their own pocket. Now,
mm,
we know it happens. I'm in over 12 different associations between Baltimore City to Baltimore County as a
mm,
landlord. So I'm
mm,
very attuned to what happens in these neighborhood
mm.
associations, as well
Right.
as the larger networks from, not just saying Southwest Partnership, but the
Mm-hmm.
larger ones that encompasses all of the neighborhood associations together. There's a lot of
Right.
things that happen, a lot of money based upon who they like, who they don't like,
Mm,
a lot of things. This time I said, you know what? I can see them on my cameras walking their dogs, driving past this open house, right? The door is wide open. Why would it be my responsibility, somebody that lives 70 miles away, to
mm-hmm.
come and to keep securing this property that's next door?
Mm,
So that's when I called the neighborhood association out, because I felt that they can go in there to want to walk around when they're looking to have a friend purchase it. See, I know these
mm,
things,
mm,
but you don't want to go in there and secure it. I was getting excuse after excuse from the president, who basically
mm.
said, oh, we would be liable. But you're not liable when you went in there to walk around when you had a friend that wanted to buy the
Mm,
property, right?
mm,
You weren't liable then, but you're going to be liable. So I just was like, hey, how long you guys going to walk past this house with this open door? Another thing that I brought up was, how come none of these vacant houses that they know, the neighborhood association knows is vacant, have those hideous signs that the city has or
mm-hmm,
posted up?
mm-hmm,
The one, the white and black ones that say vacant house. And
mm-hmm,
I'm being told that for whatever reason, the community doesn't want it because they don't want to highlight the vacants. But you can go into a lot of these over minority, 100% black neighborhoods, and you can just see these vacant signs everywhere. But over here,
mm,
the signs are mysteriously missing, right?
mm.
Again,
Wow.
I'm in between two vacants. I know they're vacant. They're not registered with anyone living there. And the fact is,
Mm,
again, that they hesitated to want to close the door. Well, after I got the fussing, you know what I mean? The door
mm,
seriously got closed. What they did to the
mm,
back, I don't know. But all of a sudden it was closed. I did have a conversation with Councilman Bullock, that morning, because like I told him, my fear is for the mother that's next door on the
mm.
opposite side. She has 3 small children. If something
Wow.
happens to her, the sacrifice would have been too great. So I continued
Mm-hmm,
to work on the back end as I was putting pressure on the neighborhood association. But my
mm,
thing for them, people want these positions. They want self-profiteering. They want to be able, and that's why people have to watch. They have to go out. They have to attend the association meetings,
wow.
regardless if you
Yes.
like the people there or not. Because what's
Right.
happening is they're making decisions for you.
Mm,
They're making
right.
decisions for that entire community. They're going to the zoning boards. They have all
Mm,
kinds of ways that they are pushing minority businesses out of neighborhoods. You have to
mm,
be engaged. And I'm,
mm,
I'm, last year I was a little disenfranchised with a lot of the neighborhood associations, but this year I'm in all the meetings. They like, why is Nicole here?
mm.
And I say I could be here because I pay property taxes here. Put me out so I could talk
Right.
about your 501c3, because we're gonna
Mm,
talk about it.
mm-hmm,
Because they cannot exclude you from those meetings. I wish they would. I
mm.
would one
Wow.
day. I'm begging. Look, I want them to, because when I'm gone, honey,
Mm.
listen, it's gonna be in the papers. Because we gonna talk about them charters. Yeah, we
Right, right, right.
is.
Wow, wow, that's amazing.
Because
Yeah, no.
but the door got closed. It got closed. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fires. And that there's been a lot of fires in that part of Baltimore.
Yes,
I
yes.
think 2021, from my count, I said 28, but when I actually put the numbers together, it was about 30, 31. Yeah,
Wow,
to be
wow.
exact.
Mm.
One happened right next door to me on West Baltimore Street. And they're
Mm.
burning infernos. These are not
Yes, right, right,
your
right.
regular, you know what I mean? Like your little kitchen fires. These are infernos,
Mm-hmm. Right.
which
Right.
massive,
Yes.
completely
Mm-hmm.
destroying the property. So, I'm not a fire, detective or whatever, fire marshal, the people that go in and do the inspections. I'm not that. So
Right. Right.
I
Right.
just say arson because I've never seen that many fires. I'm 44.
Mm.
Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
in my
Yeah.
life,
Right.
I've never
Right. Right.
seen this amount of fires happen.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is this in 1 year, a lot. They said
Mm-hmm.
that they caught the arsonist. I don't know. I don't think so.
Right. Right.
Or look, there's a copycat.
Yes. Truly. 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 No, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, and I just wonder about the whole insurance scams. If people are, running, if they getting insurance on it. I mean, that's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, there are other issues. I mean, of course, you have homeless people in these
Mm-hmm.
buildings. I mean, that's definitely a challenge, and that goes to speak to what you were saying about the properties being secured actually and closed off. I mean, I know many people uh, have said that some landlords are not securing their properties. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and I can't speak factually and say how many or what. I mean, because some are owned by the banks, some are owned by cities and by the city, and then some are owned by private owners as
Right.
well. But it definitely inspired me to definitely, and I think what recently happened will highlight the need for a strong investigation and a big broad look. I was listening to former Mayor Sheila Dixon. She's been very vocal rather recently, speaking about the challenges, and she said that it would take a significant amount of money to do the vacants. Well, I'm just like, I mean, I know other cities
Mm-hmm.
like Detroit have had their vacant problem, but they reduced it significantly. That's what I read some time ago. So it's like, okay, well, what is going on here? Like, but I'm gonna dig more into that and over the next few weeks and
Well, they
really
have.
get up understanding of it.
I think step number one for the city to kind of get a hold on it. Is that some of the laws are going to have to change. It takes a long time for the city to be able to get receivership of the properties, and
Right.
once they get it, I mean, let's just be for real. Once they get it, the city is one of the biggest slumlords. I mean, a lot of these
Yes.
properties are
Yes.
there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's start with that. So
Hmm. Right.
that
Right.
goes
Right.
back to the city is also short staffed. They don't have the staff, but then that kind of spills into the nonprofits and some of the agencies that the city, of course, supports. So we have all these youths. Let's use them. Let's put them through some workforce programs and get them to start boarding up. Why can't that work? We want to see the squeegee boys
Hmm.
off the street. I'm fine with them being on the street. I think that if that's what they choose and want to do, they don't bother me. Everybody has their own
Hmm.
hustle. Um, but I'm saying if they want them, why not train them to go and board? You know what I mean? That will give them jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm. Hmm.
everything can kind of work, but
Right.
like there's so many different nuances in the city, and it's like one agency doesn't talk to the next agency. Everyone just has a problem. There's no real
Wow.
solutions. That's
Wow.
the adequate solution. You have all of these vacancies. Why are we not having any workforce programs where these young men could be trained to go and do this kind of work and the city pays them?
Mm.
Why? I don't
Mm.
I don't see why not. They have these other programs that we're not really seeing any results that they pay for. Um,
Mm.
you would have them off the streets. They will learn a
Mm.
trade because there's a lot of carpentry and masonry that's involved, if they want to
Right.
secure them
Right.
correctly. It's just so many different ways that I think that we could definitely put
Mm.
the two issues together. But
Wow. Wow.
who am I? I just fuss
Yeah.
about it.
Right. No, definitely appreciate it. Let me shout out Sister Nisi,
Mhm.
and she's the owner of Nisi Boutique in
Okay.
Mount Rainier. And I mean, she has a lot of experience down there. I mean, she's along that Route 1 corridor, like close to DC.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so she has a boutique. She's been there 20 something years, and she's
Wow.
from DC area. But that was
Okay.
her comment. They really don't want us there, especially as owners or
Nope.
leadership roles. There's no more Chocolate City. We saw it happening.
Yep.
Thanks, Sister Love. But she's from the DC area, so she's been there all along with the whole Kathy Hughes. She's seen it all. She's about
Exactly.
65 years old, so
Listen, when I
she's seen
used
it
to
all.
go to Republic Gardens, what's that, 14th
Mm-hmm.
Street? When I first came to Maryland, and that's back when they had DC Live. DC
Wow.
don't look
Wow.
like DC.
I know. Oh my gosh. I
Yeah,
started crying like when I went over there. I was like on Georgia Avenue. I was like, I was looking around. I was like, I mean, it changes. Like, I mean, and I go to DC pretty regularly, but I think it's been like probably a year or something since I've been to this part of Georgia Avenue. I was like, my heart
it's
dropped.
different.
Like literally, I was like, oh my God, where am I at? Like the top of Georgia Avenue, it just
Yep.
looks like a whole new world. I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I used to go there regularly to a independent black school that I supported over there significantly. But I was like, wow, that's how they
Yep.
got rid of this school, the
Yep.
gentrification thing, and increasing rents like ridiculously. I mean, one day it's $1,000. Next
Mhm.
week it turns into to 2,500. But that made me think about. I'm just gonna plug this documentary that I saw on Netflix. It's about Jared Kushner. But
Mm,
definitely check it out. It was because he did a lot of things in the Baltimore
mhm,
area,
mhm,
like Baltimore counties. It was some wow. It was ridiculous in terms of his methods of really exploiting tenants, and it was just like ridiculous. And I was like, wow, this is serious. So we both I mean, and we need to definitely invest, but we also have to protect and educate ourselves, in forms of renters and, being good landlords, of course, but also teaching them about these extreme people that really want to exploit the process,
mhm,
and they're able to get away with it. And they have these high-powered lawyers
mhm.
that they pow down on people because they know you can't afford to pay a lawyer. But that's a very, very interesting documentary. But it's called Dirty Money. The series is called Dirty Money,
Mm,
but one
okay.
particular episode on there talks about Jared Kushner because he was doing things, and I heard about it during when
Right. When he went to
Trump,
trial.
and
Mhm.
yeah, but just to watch the documentary and to see how he actually did it, it was like, wow. I felt so sorry for some of the people, that were just renters. It was just like, wow,
Mhm.
this is dangerous. This is really
It
dangerous. I
is. It
mean,
is.
I mean, for Black people particularly, who may not have had economic mobility in this society. But that brings me back to the point, and I appreciate you. I know we're wrapping down on time. We went over, but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm fine. I didn't did my
No,
exercise.
no, yeah, thank you. Oh, and sister, yeah, thanks, Nisi and Monica Cooper. I think you know her too. Good day, brother
Mhm,
Haki and family. Thank you, sister Monica. But yeah, but that goes to your point in
mhm,
terms of developing people in the community, because eventually, I mean, and I keep hearing it, like people are gonna come, and rob us if rob people who look like you and I, if they
mhm.
think somehow we're easy targets. You see what I'm saying? Or break into your store or something like that. I had a store like on Pennsylvania North Avenue. Like
Mhm.
I went hard. I mean, this was years ago, and I got stolen out of my, out of the
Wow.
store. So I was just like, wow, I have to regroup and assess how I operate, because people can be a little drastic if poverty and frustrations can breed drastic responses, and they don't personalize it. You could be doing the best work that you want to do, for them and for the community, but it's like if people want to eat and they don't know you like that, it's just like you are a target. So
that is true.
that's what I
That
have
is
to
true.
say. But
And I think that's kind of where we are. Well, we definitely have to be able to get more to home ownership. When you look at the statistics of Black home ownership right now, is that it's significantly declining. Like right now, we're behind the Latino race, and a lot of them have just come to the United States. No disrespect to my brown family, but I'm just saying that we have to get out of the rental mindset. We have to get to the point that we own, because that's why if people really want to be serious about the administration, when they talk about these legacy tenants and it's tenant this and tenant that, they don't have a problem with making these programs to make you move out of Baltimore City, because all they got to do is snap their fingers because you're on those programs. Let's talk about buying your home, because then they can't move you when you own it. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. So I would like to see more activists that are definitely, focusing on that home ownership piece. I know Fight Like Baltimore with Nanika Namandi. I hope I'm saying her name right.
Yes.
She's definitely a advocate. I watch her Sharp Sister, and just we have to be able to push that home ownership piece, and we have to get our mindsets, because if you can pay $1,800 for rent, you can pay $800. Let's talk about how we got to get to that point, that because ownership is cheaper than rent. Most people say, "Oh, I don't want the responsibility of a house." Well, you have the responsibility that you're paying almost double in rent.
Exactly.
What's the difference?
Right. Yeah. I mean, somewhere along the line, some people got the wrong message, about ownership and wealth and how it transfers, ownership, how it transfers into equity, and it's like a big piggy bank on some levels. It's like it's where you got to start. It's there shouldn't be any excuses if you have all your other issues settled, substance abuse and other job related abilities, but eventually once you rent for a good time, you have to make it happen. Hold on, Sister Monica said my organization, hold on, organization, that's how 18 people get housing. Okay.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. That beautiful. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. And we'll see you on Monday for and let me plug that, sister, just so you know. I think I sent you that, but tomorrow there'll be a vigil for the firefighters, but also on Monday there'll be one at the actual fire station, right on Hollins and Monroe Street, engine 14. But thank you, Sister Monica, for sharing that. And definitely, if anybody interested in her organization to help, get housing choice vouchers.
What's the name of her organization?
Hey, Monica, put it in there. But put the name of your organization in there, Monica. Monday, January 31st. Yeah, I said Monday. Oh yeah, Maryland Justice Project. I'm sorry. Thank you, Monica.
Okay.
Maryland Justice Project. So thank you for that. But I know she works down there. But I can send her your info. Maryland, Monica at Maryland Justice Project. So, and let me see. Nisi is still. She said, Shanetta Robinson, you got to go back and hear. She tagged somebody, especially about Baltimore properties. This sister has some good knowledge to drop you. I will ask for her info again. Let me put your information in here.
Okay.
Nicole, or you have a website or email or?
Well, look, the what website we have for ASC Pack and Ship. But they can always, my phone number. I give their phone
Go
ring
ahead.
all day.
All right, go for it. I'll put it in.
Yep, it's 443-740 4743.
740. I'm sorry, 74.
740-4743 is my number.
4043. Hold on.
No, it's 443-740-4743.
Okay, got it. Right.
Yep, because I could discuss real estate like all day. I love it.
Oh,
I
great.
think it is definitely, it's the way to definitely create a legacy, for your family, as well as, we can get into some other stuff. We talk about some life insurance and how people really had their money.
Yes, right. Exactly.
That's gonna be a different topic. I'll probably take that one offline. So I
Okay.
can really show you how some things, but
Nice.
my whole thing is that I was blessed to, have definitely a father and, uncles that were, heavily involved in ownership and knowing your worth and how to get the government to kind of pay attention to you, because if you don't own nothing, because remember, if we go back in history, even when they said, oh, we're going to allow them to vote 3/5 of a man, you still had to do what? You had to own. If you didn't own, you couldn't vote, right? So it's the same premise. And this is why a lot of times our administration don't listen to those people because they feel you don't own nothing and they can move you easy. So that's my whole thing. And I push it to my tenants. We report to the different credit bureaus to help them, get that history, for rental and stuff.
No, let me give myself a shout out. My credit score just went further than I've ever seen it. So I'm doing something good. So
hey,
in my life, yes. So I'm like, all right, now, I've never seen it like this. So I'm like, all right,
are you at 750? You got to get up there.
Yeah, right, close to that, like really close to that. So I'm just like, oh man, like I can do this. You know what I'm saying? But when you start seeing,
credit is king.
Yes,
credit
yes.
is king. I mean,
FICO score.
Yeah. Mine?
Yeah.
782.
No, I said.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm trying to get to 8.
That's right.
Now my husband.
Yeah, I know some people's. Say that again.
My husband, he's 8. He's hit the 8s. Yeah.
Oh wow, beautiful.
But see, to his credit, when you have a lot of mortgages, and I tell people that when you have, it's best to only carry 4 in your personal name, because anything
four
above
mortgages?
4, I do have 4.
Okay.
Because what I did was I sold one to an LLC. Because I needed to kind of, get my debt aligned. But now I just
right.
on LLCs, but when I was younger, these 4, I didn't know. I'm still learning the game, learning the real estate thing, because there's really nobody there to teach us. You know what I'm saying? We kind of I have, back in my father's day, they could pay cash for their properties. Now our stuff is a little bit more expensive. So, as I was buying, I did buy some, and I made the mistake of trying to have more mortgages. But now I'm at the 4, everything else, I just kind of put in LLCs, and you want to have separate ones. I kind of have separate ones for each one. So if I'm ever attacked, that's all they're going to do.
Right.
But look, that's a whole nother class. I love it. I think, ownership, whether you decide to go into, single family homes, vacant lots. I'm big on the vacant lot industry too. Baltimore City hates that because they call me and they'll pick up, it's the same number. I'd be like, hello. Hello. I like the vacant lots. As long as you keep them clean. What can they just, because they want you to build on it, but I'm not ready. And I like the commercial. Commercial is something new for us. I'm in a process now of trying to develop the warehouse where my store is going to go. So,
I have somebody that need 1,500 square feet.
Of
too.
space. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
this warehouse, listen, this warehouse that I have is it's a dilapidated mess. But I went to this community. I drove through
Mm,
this community, and no disrespect to the community, but I just feel that if I lived there, will be some changes. You understand? Like,
mm,
and I'm coming to bring some changes to that neighborhood, that part of Baltimore, because I don't think that the blight that is there, nobody should live like that. They should not.
mm.
They should not live there where people are. It just makes no sense, where you're kind of driving through the neighborhoods and you see so many abandoned houses,
Right.
um,
Right.
and,
Right.
and lack of resources. So, this neighborhood there, it's a lot of industrial space that has been sitting there vacant. We've had people from the county come and rob a lot of those warehouses. We got them on tape.
Mm,
Because like the pictures that I show on my Facebook, like, yeah, that's like live footage
mm,
from the cameras. When the police came, of course they took their, driver's license. That's how, and then I traced the one driver's license to the tag, found that living in Howard County, you know,
mm.
this is what I'm saying. They're coming into the city, they're robbing our
Oh, right.
vacant houses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I saw you.
and I
You said that like 2 or 3 times. I was like, wait, she's.
listen, I
I,
post the pictures.
yeah.
If you buy my houses or buy my properties and you acting up, I'm gonna post your picture.
Right. 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 Right.
And
Right.
they lucky I post the address because I remember I traced the
Mm,
tag, but they're coming
mm,
from different counties,
mm,
Yeah, Howard County. How you gonna come
mm-hmm,
to Howard County and go in this warehouse and steal the scraps?
mm.
this
Wow.
this is what they're doing though. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be vigilant. Like we have to be vigilant,
Mm,
because it's bad. It is
mm-hmm,
bad that people. Okay, now she said our family has an LLC as the lenders want to. Okay, rather we all have. Okay, okay. Now for me, I use constructive loans for a lot. They do a lot of lending to LLCs. You also have um let me see, right here in the Baltimore, constructive loans is out of Chicago.
mm,
That's again, I'm big on bringing my money into Baltimore because I don't want that, that intertwine with the administration too much. Um, Let me see. So constructive loans is a big one. You can find them on the web. Let me see. There is I don't know who's actually here in Baltimore. I know a lot of people work with what's it called? Trius Linden. Then it's TRIUS Linden. They lend to LLCs. Then they're here in Baltimore. I've never used them myself. They've reached out a couple times, but then there's a whole lot. If they call me, I can go through my Rolodex of people that reach out to me about different things. But
mm,
again, my heart kind of stays with constructive loans because that they're from my hometown and that's who I know.
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know,
Right. Makes
I
sense.
work
Makes
with
sense.
them and a lot of things that I kind of do on my own, but she can give me a call and I would, be able to kind of put her in contact with some people that's here in the Baltimore area. So, you know.
Okay. All right, let me find your number. I'll put your number back up. There we go. Okay. All right, Sister Shawnette Robinson. Thank you.
Yeah,
Listen.
yeah. So I mean, commercial properties, I'm learning it. I'm
Oh,
learning
beautiful,
that whole
beautiful,
thing.
beautiful.
We have our I just brought another one on Baltimore Street. They're
Mm.
hoping to become, I guess, a main street. Uh
Oh, great, great. Yes,
yeah, so
okay.
I'm hoping, whatever they want to do over there. Shout out to Ben Roy July. He's trying to create a Black Wall Street there. So that's a big movement.
Mm. Okay,
With
okay.
his developments and stuff. So I just love to see it. I love to see us purchasing, and us,
Indeed.
having a piece and us
Right.
being able to tap into it, and my love for, Black people doesn't mean that I don't like anybody else. It just means that we've been down for so long that I
Mm.
just feel that it's our time. It's our time
Absolutely.
to get that education. It's our time to create wealth. It's our time. And
Mm.
not be afraid to give back and not be afraid to speak out.
Right.
Um, unbossed, unbought. I'm not begging, I tell people all the time, I build, I don't
mm.
beg. If the city wants to come and assist, just know I'm gonna call them out if
Mhm.
they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like don't come and offer me no money if I gotta shut up, because that's just, I don't want it. I would
Mm,
rather, I was telling somebody this, I would rather literally go and I'll go back to work as a nurse if I have to get what I
mhm,
need before I beg. I'm
mhm,
not gonna beg, and I'm not gonna
mm,
be quiet when I see an injustice. I'm gonna speak,
mm,
because I think that that's what I'm supposed to do. You know, I know people
yeah.
say, because I do have my haters. I do have, listen, I got some. I know I do. You know, I know, and I know what they say. Oh, she leaves her $1 million neighborhood. This is what they say, and she come here try to tell us what we can do. Hey, listen, and I just want to say to them today, you know, because I really, I never get a chance to really address, you know, the little things behind the scenes. Is that, you know, I'm
Mm,
a young girl, 63rd, you know, girl coming up in Chicago. Um,
mm,
you know, and nobody ever gave me anything. Like I said, I worked
mm,
2 jobs, listen, as a nurse to get
mm.
involved in the real estate game. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Real
Mm,
estate has helped me accumulate a lot of wealth, but at
mm,
the same time, I lost a lot.
mm,
Okay, because I was here when the feds came to Baltimore and they were locking up the Bob Beamans and the Pete Carses. And I lost a lot of money because, again, my parents gave me so much knowledge, but there were still
yeah.
things that they didn't know and
Right,
that I
right,
didn't
right,
know. And by us
right.
not necessarily having the game, we try to teach us. And I was young too. So, you know how you tell your kids some things and they don't necessarily listen. They do, you know, they
Mhm,
got to do what they want to do. And I did a lot of that. So I've learned, I've lost, I won, I lost again, I built again,
mm,
I'm back. Now I'm doing it a little bit different. So don't look at the person today. I have made a lot of
right.
sacrifices, and I take that. And no matter where I
Mm,
live, you know, I move to different neighborhoods because of my children. I do
mm,
have one child that, you know, is disabled, and I needed to be able to get him to services because I was
mm,
tired of fighting with Baltimore City about the school.
mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, wow.
But my hustle has not changed. I'm in the city. I'm in them streets. You know, a good
Mm,
4 times out of the week. You know, and I'm making that commute, so I don't have to
right.
explain anything to anyone. But
Mhm,
my thing
mhm,
is that you can't look at that person that you think today. You know what I'm saying? But
mhm,
don't
mhm,
ever get it twisted, because
mm,
I came out the streets. I was raised by the streets. And I respect that. You know, I went on to get my master's and stuff in informatics. Um,
mm.
but that was never my passion. My passion is to build and to
Right, right,
teach.
right.
So
Mm,
that's it. And I'm gonna keep
mm.
coming, and I'm gonna be there. And I believe in home ownership and economic development, and that's what it's gonna
Mm,
be. You know,
that's right.
so they can be mad and they can say she live over here, she can't vote, and she this and she that. But guess what? I got plenty of houses in the city. If I want to move back so I can vote, then that's what it is. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right,
don't ever get it twisted. You
right.
know, but I hey, I love the city. I'm a city girl. No matter where I go, I'm good in any hood. I tell people that,
Mhm,
you know,
right.
because it's true. You know, I love people, you know,
Mhm.
and look for us. Look for number two. You know, we getting ready to open up number
Oh,
two.
great, yes.
You know, and you know, so yeah, and I'm coming to a whole new council district, and
Okay,
I
okay.
know they look. I think that is my guy that I just called out the other day. So I'm a little upset with him, you know,
Okay.
about what went on with this young black boy that we helped him, you know, and
Mm,
shout out to Roland Brown, you know, attorney Roland Brown and Tamara, his wife.
mhm,
We helped a young man that was basically, he had purchased a property over there, and I think it's the Midland Goldens neighborhood, and they did not want him to utilize the store front because a lot of the zoning things that are happening in the city, again, we need to be vigilant of what is going on in these neighborhood associations. You ain't got to like the people, but you need to show up, you need to know what is going
mm,
on. They're basically, if you do not utilize a space for a year, they will take the use and occupancy that you can no longer use it as a commercial
Wow.
store or whatever that
Wow.
commercial purpose was. That's what happened.
Mm.
He purchased a storefront that had
Mm.
a residential portion to it.
Mm-hmm.
He did not utilize it.
Mm.
You know, his city council person, I ain't gonna say his name because I know he like, you know, because I like that full steam, like, yo, you know, they were on there chanting for him the other day, Sister Flowers, you know, they were saying bye-bye. I was saying bye-bye too, bro. You know,
Mm.
voted against this young man to be able to run a store that would bring fresh produce to that side of Baltimore. That's a food desert. You
Wow.
understand? So
Mm.
it was imperative. We created what I call a circle of black, where, you know, we had an attorney that came. And then, of course, I came from all the way Southwest Baltimore with my business and saying, listen, I'm going to mentor this young man. I don't even know him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know him, you know, had some conversations with him, but I feel his compassion. I feel his dream. He's a young guy. And
Mm.
he's the first in 4 generations to own a piece of property.
Mm.
How we gonna be mad
Wow.
at that? How can
Mm.
you be mad at that? How can you
Mm.
vote against that? This is you
Mm.
you can't talk about the squeegee boys on one hand and you voting against young black men that are
Mm.
trying to create and you want the opportunity to do better.
Mm.
And so, yeah,
Mm.
I'm gonna call you out, and I'm gonna say bye bye with Christina Flowers and everybody else that was
Mm-hmm.
chanting, because you have to draw a line to
Mm.
say, I can't let you pull I can't be your puppet today. But whoever he
Right.
was, whoever he wanted to speak for to vote against this young man. So
Mm.
again, a lot of the politicians are bought. They speak in the language of whoever's putting money in their pockets, and I get
Mm.
that. I get that, but it's not for me. So,
Mm.
I mean, this young man, I'm looking for, he's getting ready, hopefully, to open up within the next month or two.
Ah,
It's called
beautiful.
Jerry's Convenience.
Mm.
You know, I'm happy to have been a part of that, to, you know, go to the zoning issues. And we created a circle of black around him, you
Mm.
know, I pulled in another business owner to help us to, you know, for the free food, the free fresh produce and stuff to his store.
Mm.
And it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm looking for a beautiful thing. And again, it's not a young boy that I know, that I hang out with. Because most people know I don't go to no events hardly. Like if you see me at an event, that's because I
Mm-hmm.
had nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Because I mean,
Right.
for me, I'm an introvert, so a lot of times you know, I just want to be home. You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
old now.
Mm.
You know, back in the day, I could party. Today, you know, 8 o'clock is my new 12. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of good things going on in the city.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
I'm looking forward to the city getting a lot of things together. You
Mm.
know,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
I don't dislike Brandon. I say this all the time, but I don't dislike anybody. Honestly, I don't dislike anybody. I want to see
Mm.
everybody do good, but
Mm-hmm.
not at the expense of black people.
Mm.
That's it.
Wow.
Not
Wow.
at the expense
Yes.
of black people, and not because we've been beaten down enough. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and my whole thing with Baltimore City is that when it comes down to being able to educate the masses and information, we have a problem with
Mm.
information accessibility in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You could call the city, get one person on the phone and get one answer. You call back, you
Mm.
get another
Yes.
answer. You
Oh
know
my
what I'm saying?
God.
Like
Wow. Yeah.
we gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
get on the same platform and get this information flowing. And my hope is to see all of the activists come together in the room, start making
Mm.
some different things happen, because all of the little infighting that we see, we losing. We are losing.
Mm. Right. Right.
We've
Right. Right.
really
Right.
lost. Look at Port Covington. We've lost. You
Mm.
know,
Mm.
how many people eating off of that?
Mm.
Let's look
Wow.
at
I know.
this big
Yes.
basketball thing that's coming. A CI, what, AA? How
CIA.
many of
Right.
us
Right.
is
Right.
really gonna eat off of that? I mean, I'm just saying.
Have they
Well,
reached out to you? Have they reached out to you?
let me tell you this. Most people don't necessarily, because some people they be like, oh, we don't want to deal with her. because they know, people dealing with me is and I will say this because I'll be like, well, what do you want? What do you need? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
if I go and I do this, like really what's in it for us? You
mm-hmm,
know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
And I want to see who else is there because if it's not going to be no other black businesses, I'm not going to be your token either. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
So I'm a
Right.
little, yeah. They be like, not
Mm,
militant. No, we're not going to
mm-hmm,
invite her. But one agency did reach out, but that was it. That was kind of,
mm,
they just asked whether or not we wanted to advertise, and it was really kind of like, no, because we're not even open on Saturday. Not that location. We're not open on Saturdays, and
mm,
I'm straight. Like, again, I just kind of, I be want to be able to feel free. They said,
mm-hmm.
tell that Jason Black, there are many leaders keeping
Oh, wait a
drama.
minute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, she moving.
No, I'm sorry. That
Oh,
I was, yeah.
okay. There are
They
many
put
leaders.
that
Yeah,
many
there
leaders keep
are.
drama
There
there,
are.
right?
And
Okay, yes.
yeah, well,
I
and
guess he
see, I
was,
think
yeah.
that is very true. And I think that they need to kind of come to one accord because we're losing right now in the city. I mean, we're
Mm-hmm,
we're seeing millions of dollars that is being funneled into the city through, from the federal government, to a lot of these different projects. And again, we're losing. We are
mm,
losing. When we
mm,
talk about, just pushing us out, of the different areas and the cost of, home ownership, the price
mm-hmm,
in so many places that are being just look at downtown. All you gotta do is
mm,
go downtown. And then you
mm-hmm.
go to Harbor, what is that? Harbor East, what is that? Alpha Alcina. And then you come back west. It's like a whole different
Oh
world.
my God.
Like
Yes, 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 indeed.
what? It's a
Yes, yes,
whole
yes.
different world.
Absolutely.
We have to wake up because see all of this infighting, people they give them a little bit of crumbs and then they shut up. It's like the fight
Mm,
stops. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? They give them some crumbs. Here's some money. We buy you some new jackets, and you can go get your jackets embroidered, and y'all can stand out there and pose in your jackets, and then you shut up. What? No,
Right.
the fight continues. The fight should continue, and that's why I'm saying, like, I'm really funny about even wanting to apply for any of that because no, I still want to be able to speak to that. Like, what are they doing?
Yes.
They shouldn't give money with no results.
Mm,
I mean,
right.
anything, it should always be, any type of plan, it should always be a reassessment. If I give you
Yes.
some, I want to know whether or not, and you should have some goals that have been outlined. Are we reaching those goals? It needs to be a reevaluation. And now people just throwing money to shut people up and then the fight
Mm,
stop. So I think a lot of that is what's going on with a lot of the different activists. They give them some money and it's like,
mm-hmm.
they stopped
Mm-hmm.
the fight. See me,
Wow.
I don't know. Like I'd rather go back to work, but I'm still gonna be fighting if I say, even if
Right,
I'm a
right,
movement by
right, right.
myself. So, but
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of them don't serve the people, and it's really sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
really sad. But we shall see. Catherine Pugh's home, and
Yes, right, right, right.
I like Catherine. I had
Yeah.
to, yeah, I sent her some books. I guess they're gonna send them back
Oh,
to me.
oh wow. Oh, you said they did? They sent it back?
Well,
Hmm.
they were supposed to arrive yesterday.
Oh, oh,
And
okay,
she's
okay.
home now. So yeah.
Wow.
So I guess Amazon to send them back to me, I guess. I don't know. Or
Oh,
send
right,
them.
right, right.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
direct thing. Because my thing is that she was always nice to me. I mean,
Right.
we all have issues, you know what I'm saying? So hey, if they probably be looking for something on me to shut me up too.
Mm.
I don't
Wow.
think
Yes. Yes. Yes.
so.
No. Absolutely.
I won't
Absolutely.
give it. I won't be giving it to him.
Yeah. No. It's interesting that you mentioned that, which and we can sort of segue really quick into this Marilyn Mosby
Mhm.
case, and I know you've been a supporter, of her in general, to just understanding that she's done some good things in terms of, or attempting to do some good things in terms of keeping uh, young black men from getting some of these charges for 5 bags of weed or something, and then the police aren't on the street. That's it's like you locking somebody up for 2, 3 bags of weed, and then the police can't do other things. That's the one of the theories about it. I just heard a police officer say something about how if they arrest someone, they got to be off the streets for like 3 hours, booking them and taking them down and doing all the processing. So and I know you had some comments with another so-called journalist that really you thought that they were not demonstrating good journalism in terms of be objective, giving her the benefit of the doubt, or the whole legal process of innocence until proven guilty. So you have any comments on those things?
Well, for me, again, like, I'm not really a supporter, I think, of any of the politicians, the administration. I just kind of stand neutral if they right. They do something good, hey, I'll pat you on the back. You know what I'm saying? You do
Mm-hmm.
something bad, it's like, ooh, well, But I do think that I won't say the attack on her. I do think that she could have navigated some of the things differently because she knew she was under siege, and we got to move a little bit differently
Yes,
out
right,
here.
right, right.
When we know we are up under attack all the time. And I'm gonna pray for her because she's
Mm-hmm,
another,
mm-hmm.
Black woman, and I
Right,
know what
yes.
it's like to be attacked. She's
Mm,
successful. My thing, was speaking about the attack on her was to utilize her enemy, somebody that is
mm,
very vocal about her,
right.
that has been tearing her down, to put her on a platform within hours is not a good move. It was a snake move in my eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do no snake. you know, I don't like it. I don't want to be affiliated with it. Um,
Mm,
even if I have a difference of opinion with my friends, you know what I'm saying? Just don't do
mm,
a snake move. You run to my enemy and that's foe. I got a problem
mm,
with that because I can't trust nothing else that you do. And to
mm,
put this woman up there to discuss Maryland in hours when you were just patting Marilyn on the back, and following her husband around and things, and then to put her enemy up there is the wrong thing to do in my eyesight.
mm,
I think that the discussion, it was big news, the indictment, which, I've seen a lot of family members, go away, for different
mm,
things with the federal government. Um, I just don't know, if she's going to beat those charges, all of them, but I will say that I hope that anybody that is up under duress from the American government
mm.
and can, prevail, you know.
Right, right, right.
Um, it's a sad time because, they're talking about her livelihood, taking her
Yes,
license.
right,
That's
right,
how
right,
she
right.
feeds her family.
Mm-hmm.
People that celebrate it. Like, I'm never gonna celebrate anybody,
Mm,
not
mm,
even my own enemy. I'm
mm-hmm.
not going to celebrate anybody losing the ability to
Mm,
feed their babies and their children. That's just that I'm not built like that, because
mm-hmm.
I recognize that karma comes tenfold. You know what I'm saying? What you celebrate today, you making that bed for yourself tomorrow. That's some real stuff. So I'm hoping the best for the young Black girls that are out there. We all make mistakes. The campaign funds and different stuff like that. Again, that's above my pay grade. I don't really know too much, about that. People say that she may face some charges on that from the state. But I don't like people turning on people and,
Mm,
and partying and ready to with their whole enemies and stuff. I
mm.
can't I can't support that at no point,
Right.
no time. And then I see you for who you are. Like, I can love you, but you got one time to show me them scales and I'm out. Oh, no. You know,
Right, right,
because
right.
a lot of people lose. I've seen people lose their life when God show you and He give you that power of discernment to
Mm,
show you the character of a person,
mm,
and you see it and you don't pay attention to it, and something happened, and hey, that's what it is,
wow.
because He didn't showed you who that person is. So that's
Mm,
kind of, I'm hoping the best. She's got small babies,
yes, right,
she's
right.
educated,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, I'm not an attorney, and my whole thing is that, I'm a nurse, and I'm just hoping the best. Two professional women.
Right, right, right.
But Marilyn, she kind of knew she was under attack.
Yeah,
You
yes,
gotta,
yes,
you
yes,
gotta,
yes.
you gotta walk a different kind of tight line.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes,
Because
I
they
agree.
looking
I
for
mean, yeah,
anything.
it's
If she
yeah.
threw gum out
Um,
the window, they want to give her a ticket. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they
right,
like,
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
whole
And
house situation is, I don't know.
it's really sad, that it's really I think ultimately they in some spaces they want, Europeans like in charge, and they'll do like anything in terms of scrutinizing black officials with things that generally speaking a lot of us do. A lot of people do certain things, economically. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like I'll just speak about the house part with the. I'm sorry, not the house, but I mean, but yeah, investing her money into real estate, like like I mean, it's almost like controlling your growth,
Right.
like you on a plantation, like and that's definitely something. I mean, and it makes me, like you said, not even want to even be underneath their
Mm-mm.
purview of
Mm-mm.
control, to think that somebody going to be watching, you know, I guess a super citizen like she is, like just
Right.
watching people and waiting for something, or So that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, it is.
She said people don't repeat the charges.
I'm hoping, that she does,
Mm-hmm.
because again, she's never done anything, to me.
Right, right, right.
And as a black woman, and somebody, I know what it feels like to be a target. And I think that
Mm,
not to her level, you know what I'm saying? Not to her level. So,
right,
not
right.
I won't even say that, but at the end of the day, you just kind of hope and pray. Again, I don't want to see anybody,
Mm-hmm.
have to, but it's just a different walk that we have to walk, when we
Yes.
know we a target, every little thing. And I know the feds play no games. I
Mm,
audited for some time, up under the RAC program, with Medicaid and medical, Medicare. And I
mm,
will say that if they can't get you, on the crime, they look for wire fraud, tax fraud, application
mm,
fraud.
mm,
So one of the main things that people can look at is to go back and get an application. I know myself, I'm very vigilant in filling out applications,
mm,
because I know that was a major target, from
mm,
my work with the federal government. So I will say
mm,
that, that's how they get you. Not
mm.
necessarily, they don't like you, they can go back and get your applications. Many people rush through applications
Yes,
because they
yes,
so long-winded. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just check,
yes, right.
you ain't even reading it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Just because you want to be done, especially when it comes to your mortgage applications, because they
Yes,
got
yes,
what, 6, 7 pages, right?
right,
Your
right.
certifications, if you want government certifications, you they're asking you to fill out your financial statements. Oh, those are grueling, How many
Mm,
people just do we really go look at our portfolio? You might be like, I think it was this, and you write it down. They can use that against you because at the end it says under penalties of perjury, right? You don't know you
mm-hmm,
really lying. You just rush through it. But we have to start looking at those things because they use that, because they have
mm,
that little fine print down there, and they use that
mm-hmm.
against us. I've they've done it. When people look at the mail fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, and then the application fraud they want to use, it's sad, that's kind of the legacy that they're trying to create for Baltimore. Like everyone is
Wow.
so
Yes.
uh,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
they never talk about the good. We got to give them more good to talk about.
Yes.
I
Right.
guess
Right.
we'll
Right.
see. We'll see. I'm neutral, on the situation. I don't know. I hope she has an attorney.
Right. Right. Right.
I hope she gets a team. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really know, too much about the attorney that she has, but I think that fighting the federal government is a different beast, and she knows that. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that she definitely has to have a good team behind her.
Right.
Um, and I think she's doing right now to kind of fall back, be a little quiet. Because they're looking for anything. If she sneezed, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Marilyn, she sneezed. Oh my God, we gotta indict her." Like, let's just kind of
Mm.
fall back a little bit and and focus on the case and the task. And I think what bothers me is that where is the I guess the city council people can't say nothing. I don't know.
No. Yeah. Yes.
I haven't seen any of the senators. No one. Like, where they at? They all, none of them have said anything. They all just got quiet. And I guess they have to be quiet. I don't know. Um,
Mm.
I'm just, yeah, because none of them. Like, back when Catherine Pugh went through her thing, Brandon Scott, excuse me, Mayor Brandon Scott, he was the first one to call out that Catherine's got to resign. Like, yo,
Mm.
cricket.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yes. Yes.
He
Yes.
hasn't really said too much.
No. No. None of
And I
them.
mean, I
None
guess
of them.
again, what can they say? She's in the job. What can they say? I'm
Right.
quite sure they probably reached out to her, and I'm hoping, that because everybody needs support. Everyone needs support, especially when it feels like your world is shattering around you. And
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
federal courts, the people don't understand, is a lot different than going to court in Baltimore City, because what
Right.
happens is that if it's held on Lombard, at that district court,
Mm-hmm.
then they're going to get a lot of the people from the surrounding counties, that's
Mm.
going to sit on that jury. They come out, the Greenbelt. That's a different beast of different
Mm-hmm.
counties, So we just, that's it. And what Monica said, exactly. They want the leadership from top to bottom. I think that, uh, you know, herself, her husband, and Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
It's too
Mm.
bad,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
I guess she between that, she's probably the strongest dynamic. And I guess they figure that they will take her out, and
Right.
that's kind of, what it is. And
Right.
I'm rooting, I'm always rooting for the underdog. So if
Yes.
it's the,
Yes. Yes.
because
That's it.
I've seen so many, people, and it's just like we just have
Mm-hmm.
to walk that fine line, and
Right. Right.
I guess we'll see, but
Yes. Right.
I don't like people doing no snake stuff, So yeah, that's why I spoke. I ain't like that. I didn't
Right.
know, not when, I've never, like, I'm saying, oh, I love Marilyn Mosby. Like, I've never been that person, because again, I'm not really into that whole politics. I mean, I like the good that she do, and I can say that. Like, I like some of the good, that I seen her do. I saw her and her husband at the Prince thing back with Freddie Gray.
Mm-hmm.
And I like some of the policies that she put into place, because I know that they used to arrest people and not charge them. That was
Mm.
something that was happening right here in Baltimore City. People would sit in jail for
Mm-hmm.
days without being charged. So that's one of the things that Marilyn Mosby did help change. So I like the good, and I like the different things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know we go to the same furrier out on Bel Air Road,
Okay.
stuff like that. But I haven't really like followed her career, but I know that
Mm-hmm.
this person was supporting her at some point in time, and again, following her husband and this, that, and that, and then to turn on her so quick. I'm talking in hours, not. not days, not months, and hours, and put her enemy up there to throw salt on her when this was all fresh. Like, yo, like you don't do nothing like that. But I guess we're gonna see. We will see. You know, my thing is, as Black women, they feel like if they take us out, because right now, I mean, they have found little things, you know, and they're taking us down.
Right.
And it's like if we decide to put our lives on the line in these political offices, it's like we can't do nothing. Don't even go outside. Stay home. Stay home. Don't buy nothing for whatever 4 years. You know, that's why I would never run for office, because that's a different scrutiny. I don't want. Yeah, no.
Yes.
That's not
Yes.
for me.
Right.
Nope, it's not for me. Because I would, you know, like how Brandon Mayor Scott got off on
I worked with him on some of many of his workshops.
Right.
I would too. So I would jump on out there with Mackenzie. Like what you said. Oh, she said, call him out. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna open a store up in that man's district over there, and I don't have to be fighting him every day. Now, all you gotta do is go listen to Christina Flowers, and they were on there on her thing talking about bye, and they were saying his name, bye. It's the same person. It's the same person. Look, I'll be good today. Today is Saturday.
We got another. She said, "Call her, your girl Black Fussy."
Hey, they know. Like, shoot, I will. Look, I say his name now. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just trying to be good. I'm being good today.
I know.
I got my
Monica, you already know him. You already know it. I mean, we talked about it before.
So Miss Christina Flowers did a whole show, right? And she
did. Wow.
Well, okay. She did a show, and she was over there saying, we were over there chanting, bye, bye. They were mad with her. Pranithia Taylor, all up. They were all over there. And it's the same councilman. So my thing is know who you vote for, know they voting history, know who's giving them money, you know, because that's who their allegiance to. That is who their allegiance to, right? Because they figure we not necessarily giving them any money or whatever, so they repping whoever's giving them money. You know, look out for these people with these fake CDCs. You know, that's getting funneling money through these CDCs. I can run you a list of stuff, you know, but it's a lot going on in this city. It's like be vigilant, go to those neighborhood associations, see what they talking about and what they ain't talking about.
Right.
Because it's it's off the hook, you know. But we can get better if we come together. We ain't gotta like each other.
Right.
You know. I don't think you have to like each other. I don't think so. Right. You know, it's a lot of people I work with that I don't. You know, we ain't going to break no bread. You know, so but we can still get things done. You know, for the greater good of things. And I think that's where we have to go with this, because all the activists, we have to get it together. So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I appreciate your time, sis. Let me find your number so I can put it back up front.
And they can come and visit us at ANC Pack and Ship. Right now, that is it. Right now, 1400 West Lombard is our location. We are coming to East Baltimore, so look for us very soon. You know, and that's it. And then we'll do the warehouse. I'm looking to learn about workforce development. I have no idea about that. And I listen, I learn every day, you know, and I tell people just be patient with me because I don't know anything about workforce development. It's not anything that I was trained in, but I'm willing to learn. I listen. I'm a listener first. And I love to learn about different things. I would love to be able to employ the youth. The same thing that I think that the city could do with some of these vacants. I would like to be able to teach them distribution and manufacturing because that's one of the things that we're going to take on with our warehouse. And, you know, I'm just looking forward to the city, to anybody that comes within my voice, being able to learn how to purchase for themselves and to navigate some of these different hurdles that is out there, because that's where it's at. I think that a lot of these agencies that are getting the money to help people do things are not necessarily looking out for a lot of us, the minorities. And I ain't gonna even speak on that whole Greenmount situation. I'm gonna leave that where that is, where that is for this show. But people need to be vigilant of the things that is going on around them, because it's a lot of money that is moving and we're not really getting it. 6 months downtown paid rent. We need to talk about putting some of these business owners into their own place where they can survive. Rent. I'm, don't want to pay rent. I want to own that piece of property.
Right.
It's just a little bit different feel when you can rent to yourself. And I think that's what the ultimate game changer is. Like, don't put me, a lot of these programs, I looked at them and I did not like, and I was like, I'm not going to give them all my tax returns so they can pay my rent for 6 months or a year or whatever, so that rent money can go to one of their friends when they could have put me into an SBA, 7A, 7J, whatever, so I could have brought me a piece of property, renovated that piece of property, and now I got a piece of economic development that I can tap into, that I can leverage to go and do something else. Why would I want to get into a grant program that I'm going to end up having to write off on my tax returns just so you can pay rent to your friend? Because when you sit back and think about it, a lot of those buildings downtown, we don't own them. Who you think owns them? So the state wants to give you money so you can pay their friend instead of helping you fix up one of these dilapidated commercial properties so you can own your real estate and rent to yourself, because there's federal money out there to do that, but they don't want to talk about that. They wanted to focus on the rent. Oh, you can get your rent 6 months, a year, whatever, paid if you come downtown. Not today, because that. So you mean to tell me, okay, yeah, it's paid for 6 months, a year, but what's going to happen after that? Because how many people gonna be able to afford that downtown rent? Even if it's locked in, again, you back on rent. Why I can't get this program where you help me fix up this vacant commercial property so I can own it? It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different tax write-off. It's just a little bit different. That now you can leverage that property into something else, because if you fixed it up 9 times out of 10, it's gonna have what? Equity, right? It's a different game. But our mindset is oh, they giving us rent.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't push rent. This Baltimore, the next place in East Baltimore, that will be the first rent that I've ever done. And the only reason is because I'm really waiting for the place next door. The place next door becomes available and I can work it out with this person. Then that's what. Okay. Yeah, Monica, I'm gonna be calling you. I'm going to be calling you. So I would love to have more information. I want the one next door because I would love to purchase. But right now it's about us getting over there to that East Baltimore neighborhood, and a perfect location for us. And that's kind of where my mind is to be able to bring ANC Pack and Ship to that location over there so I can service the Baltimore side. And I'm kind of going against my own book because I don't believe necessarily in renting, but the opportunity is so great for me to make the move and to do it now. And the reason that I'm focused on doing it now is because I want to be able to touch that east side and kind of bring it together. I want to become more engaged to what's going on over there on the east side. I want to be able to just basically expand to that side. So that's kind of where I am mentally. I would love to purchase the building next door. if the price is right. So, it'll be something I will revisit.
Yeah, beautiful,
But
beautiful,
we'll see.
beautiful.
So, it's
Yes.
just a small little business, ANC Packing Ship. We make good
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
All
We have
right, all
big
right. Well,
clients. Yeah, so that's it. I'm
well,
a
we know
boring
how.
guest.
Well, we know how Federal Express started, so right.
Hey,
Right.
you start small. This packing ship business is not anything that I went to school for. You know what I mean? It's not. I can honestly tell you, we were in the back like reading, trying to read the manuals. Like, what do we do? Like, watching YouTube, how to pack a box. But I think we have such an important concept, and it's growing to many different, things. We do international shipping, of course, domestic. We're able to, this year, I'm 100% focusing on local businesses, being able to help them export if that's what they choose to do, as well as help them navigate the shipping process because shipping can be very expensive.
Yes, right, right.
People that have like those drop ship stores, they're able to kind of tap into the pirate ships, the shippos and stuff that's online. But what about the people that have their inventory that is, within their reach in their homes or in storage or whatever? So we're working. I've actually reached out to companies like Stem and Vine. I'm definitely going to plug them. They're getting ready to come. Stem and Vine, Quincy, and he's like a plant shop, and he's got all these beautiful different types of plants. He's teaching me about plants, because I don't have a green thumb at all. So that's my goal. We do have some larger clients that we do like seafood shipping and different things for them, but I want to do something for the smaller businesses. So I kind of want to be able to get to both sides and have a west and east side location where people will be able to, because our hours are funny. People always tell us that from 12 to 6 Monday through Friday at that one location, but this location will be able to be open for longer hours and then give that Saturday service, because that's the partnership that I'm creating on that side. So I just this year we focused heavily last year on international markets. We've shipped everything from large machinery to ambulances to Haiti to
Oh wow.
containers worth of plastic pallets, all kind of things last year, and that's my main thing at that location. This location, we want to get into more of the bulk mail distribution, things like that, because I want to be able to teach it because right now there's only one organization in Maryland, down in Salisbury, that is actually
Wow.
carrying a lot of your commercial pre-sorted mail pieces outside of the post office. So I want to bring that to Baltimore. I want to be able to have the license. So I'm steady learning. We're steady adding on new things, because that's just it, to constantly pivot, your business into different things. So that's where I'm at, and to be able to teach it, and for people to be able to open up their own franchise, whether it's ANC Packing Ship, or whatever they want to name it, to be able to give them a floor plan, because nobody gave it to us. I'm learning as I go, you know what I mean, and
Yes.
reinventing. Because this is not a business that I set out to open, it's just something that we kind of fell into, because there's no resources. I was doing a project in Chicago and I couldn't, and the one that's on Lombard, and I couldn't get a notary. I was like, how you in a city and you can't find a notary? You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
You have to go online and then somebody had to come to you. It was like no business that you could go to. Then I couldn't get a
Wow.
copy. Then I had to go to the post office. The post office closed at 2:00. I was like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah, right,
It was
right,
just
right,
really
right, right.
because I always thought that if you live in the city, that resources and services should be walkable,
Wow.
and that part of Baltimore is not walkable. There's nothing. It was like kind of destitute. So that's what we brought. We brought copies, notaries, mailboxes, where people don't have to spend, hundreds of dollars to get an off address away from their home-based business. They can come there. We start at $7. It used to be $5, now it's $7. So just a variety of different things. So that was my whole thing, was to fulfill a need. It wasn't that it's a life. People like, oh, they make a lot of money. That's our whole thing, is to make money. Listen, we run a whole back end operation that is
Mm,
outside of the storefront. That's really the moneymaker. The store, the walkable traffic is for the service base, a part of the
mm-hmm.
business. The to be able to touch the community so that they can have a nice place for their packages and stuff to, so that they don't get stolen and stuff. So that's pretty much what it is for me. But yeah, yep. Hey, did you leave me?
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Oh, did you leave
No,
me?
I'm sorry. I'm here. No,
But yeah,
we good. We
that's
good.
what it is. So, but we're growing and we'll, I'm excited about it.
Yes, no,
We'll see.
sounds
We'll
phenomenal.
see,
Sounds phenomenal, and it makes if it just makes sense. It just
hmm
makes sense to have those services there. So, well, yeah, I definitely appreciate you taking this time. I
Yeah, yeah.
think I've definitely got some good content. People will find tremendous value in all of the amazing things you've shared here today. So, people have pack and ship. Um, Lombard Street. People can
Yeah.
look it up Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. And coming to the east side, East Baltimore on soon.
Yep.
So
It's
just keep
sooner than they
open.
think.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm sure my east side brothers and sisters will look forward to that. And here is her number, 443-740-4743. So Nicole Orr, and thank you, your family and your husband and your sister Tiffany for her work
Oh yeah.
there. So we appreciate that. So we shall be in touch, sister. I'll see you Monday because I got something to mail. And
Oh,
I
okay.
know,
Yep. I'm there. I'm there on
yeah.
Monday.
So
Thank you for having me. And look, let me
yes,
rant. For look, we just
no,
ranting.
no, I appreciate it. No, it was, I sometimes tell people, look, I mean, I know people busy, whatever you can do, but somebody like yourself that's really connected like that, it's a value, and I'm sure that Nisi and Monica and Sister Queen, appreciate it, as well as the others that are on it didn't say anything. So, um, so thank you again, and we shall be in
Cool.
touch.
Thank
Let's
you for having me.
keep building momentum. All right.
That's it. Build. That's my
All
word.
right.
Build.
Build and destroy. Peace to the
Build.
gods and the earth. Let me shout out the peace to the gods and the earth. See, you ain't
That's
know
right.
how deep I am. You don't know how I roll, but
But that's
so
it. But that's
yeah.
it. You either build or destroy. That's it.
Yes,
So
that's
we
it. That's
build.
it.
Build.
All right. Let me know when the next parliament. All right. All right, sis. We till
Great.
next week, y'all.
Thank
We out.
you.
Peace and blessings.